They say there's a game you can play in the city. People call it the Last Stop Challenge. The rules are simple. Take the subway after midnight, stay past the final stop, and don't look at your phone. Most people laugh at the idea. Mark didn't. He wanted to prove it was fake. It was late, almost 1 in the morning, when he walked into the underground station. The place was empty. The clock above the tracks flickered. The train arrived with a low screech, and he stepped inside. At first, it felt normal. A few drunk passengers slumped in their seats. A couple whispered to each other. The buzz of the lights above filled the car. But when the last announced stop came, something was wrong. Everyone else left the train. Mark stayed in his seat, waiting to see what would happen. The doors closed. The train didn't reverse. It kept moving forward. The intercom buzzed with static, and a voice whispered, "Next stop, last stop." Mark frowned. He had never heard of that station before. He looked out the window. The tunnel had disappeared. There was only blackness. Like the train was moving through a void. When he looked back into the car, it wasn't empty anymore. Dozens of passengers were sitting silently across from him. They hadn't walked in, they were just there. Some wore clothes that looked decades old. Some looked like mannequins. Some had no faces at all, smooth skin where eyes and mouths should have been. Mark's chest tightened. He tried not to look at them, but the intercom crackled again. Next stop, Mark. The faceless passengers twitched all at once. Slowly, every head turned toward him. Then, impossibly, mouths ripped open across their skin. Jagged, bleeding smiles stretched too wide. Mark ran to the doors, but they didn't open. He pounded the glass, shouting for help. The lights flickered red. The train slowed. The sign outside read, "Last stop." The station was broken, dripping, and wrong. Something huge shifted in the shadows beyond the platform. The passengers stood, filing out one by one. As they passed, they turned their torn mouths toward Mark, grinning wider, as if urging him to follow. He stayed. He couldn't move. The doors closed again. For a moment, he thought it was over. Then he heard it, the sound of chewing. The passengers hadn't left. They were closer now. Their jaws stretched open impossibly wide. Black saliva dripped from their teeth. They crawled on the walls and ceiling like spiders. The intercom whispered, "Stay. Feed." Mark forced himself between the train cars. He clung to the shaking metal as the void rushed by outside. Wind tore at his face. He saw a faint glowing hatch. Desperate, he leapt. His hands scraped steel. He pulled himself through. Darkness swallowed him. He landed on gravel in a damp maintenance tunnel. He coughed, shaking, unable to stand. At dawn, subway workers found him curled up. They asked what happened. He only muttered one thing, again and again. It wasn't a train. It was feeding.